Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to another Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And we just got done, well, actually we watched it a couple weeks ago, but we watched Creep 2, the sequel to Creep 1 from 2014 by director Patrick Brice and actor Mark Duplass, who returns in this one, and new coming actress Desiree Akhavan. Where do we start with these things?
Well, you made me watch the... I wanted to watch the first one.
We watched them in order.
Yeah, we watched them in order. You were like, all right, I want to see the second one, but I think you should see the first one first. So by the end of the first one, I was like, wait, they made a sequel to this? How?
Yes, the thing you gotta know about the first Creep, if you have not seen it, is that Creep 1 was an exercise in restraint and, what do you call it? When you're not working with much, when you're,
budgetary constraint? Efficiency.
Efficiency is a good word, but not necessarily the word I'm looking for. It was an exercise in working with practically nothing and creating something of it. It's basically the story behind Creep 1 is two filmmaking friends went out into the woods and filmed a movie together, not knowing what the movie was gonna be.
Yeah.
And over the course of a couple years, shaped it into a horror movie, which then got released by Blumhouse.
Yeah,
called Creep 1.
Yeah, and you could tell it was fucking shot on like a $1,200 like prosumer camcorder.
Yeah, it was literally two guys, no crew, two guys, a camera, and them just making shit up until something stuck. And then once they had things that stuck, they'd figure out the narrative and work things out, and then show the movie to their friends, and their friends would go like, actually, I think this would be more interesting if you made it more like a horror movie. And them going, I don't know, okay. And then they try it, and then they go back and film stuff. And then they eventually cobbled together the final movie, which you can't tell was cobbled together.
No, it looks like it was scripted.
Yeah, it absolutely does. But essentially, it was a movie about a guy who takes out a Craigslist ad to go essentially film this one guy over the course of what's assuming going to be like a summer or a week or something.
Yeah.
And basically, the whole story is this guy is dying of cancer and he wants to leave something behind for his son to see when his son grows up.
Yeah.
Something about him.
If you haven't seen Creep, you know what part of that is real and what part of that is a lie.
As the title implies, this guy turns out to be somewhat of a creep.
Yeah. And they don't shy away from making him a creep from the get-go.
Yeah. And now Creep 2 picks off right where Creep 1 left off, which is spoilers. We'll get into that when we get to spoilers. And continues it with a new character named Sarah, played by Desiree Akhavan, and is fascinating.
Yeah.
The way it goes.
Well, it's one of those things where we went immediately from Creep 1 to Creep 2, and after we saw Creep 1, I'm like, okay, you gotta
How are you making a sequel?
Yeah, how are you making a sequel?
Yeah.
Because if you get to the end of Creep 1, you're like,
That's the end.
That's the end. Like, what else is
open
there
and
to
shut.
do? But they found
like
a way.
Literally the first scene of Creep 2 sets the stage for the entirety of Creep 2, and you're like, oh, that's how you're gonna make a sequel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in. I am so in.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think one of the problems is that this, by its nature, has spoilers for the original Creep.
Yeah. So, like, if you haven't seen either Creep movies, they both get a recommendation from me.
Absolutely.
They are both really solid, really awesome. I think overall, I probably like Creep 2 a little more because of the crazy ways it goes. And plus, it's obvious when they went into Creep 2, they knew they were making Creep 2. So...
Yeah. So, like, basically, Creep 1 is what they did with nothing. Creep 2 is what they did with an actual script.
Yes. They actually put together an idea, but once again, it's basically three filmmakers getting together and making a movie.
Yeah, and both of them are really fucking good.
Though I think they actually did have a bit of a skeleton crew for Creep 2, like they didn't have with Creep 1.
Well, yeah, you could tell because that thing actually has like some effects that happen.
There's a lot of really cool hidden stuff. Like I was listening to the movie Crypt with all three of them and Adam and Joe, and they were talking about Creep 2, like because they actually had a crew for Creep 2, they were able to do a lot of stuff where they would like hand off the camera at certain shots so that... And like and when you watch the movie, it's like you can't tell when the camera was handed off to someone else.
Oh, okay. So they were able to pull off that same trick that the Maniac ripoff. Maniac.
Exactly.
Remake. I don't want it. I just said ripoff.
It's not a ripoff.
It's not a ripoff. No, the Maniac remake's really good.
It's a remake and it's a really good one.
Yeah.
But it's even funnier. Because that's the other thing about the Creep movies. They are comedies. They are horror comedies in a weird way, but it's not like overtly horror. It's not overtly like jokes. It's like these weird, funny situational things.
Yeah, it's like
there's a lot of awkward humor, and
there's a lot of cringe.
Yeah, cringe is a good way to put it.
The main character is so cringy.
Actor Mark Duplass, who is also filmmaker Mark Duplass, but actor Mark Duplass is amazing at these just weirdly cringy performances.
Yes.
Where you can tell that he's fucking with you, but you don't know where the fucking with you begins and the crazy ends.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what these movies hinge upon.
Yeah. And the other thing is that with both movies, you have no fucking clue where things are going.
No.
And that's what I love about both, because it could be really easy if just cut and dry, like, oh, it's a creep, and now it's a slasher movie. But no. You are left guessing till the very end on both of these films.
Yeah, like that was what I thought was so amazing about both of them, which is, you're like, all right, it's about a creep, all right, it's going to be about an awkward guy who turns out to be a killer. Well, whether or not that's the case... You have no idea where this movie is going, where those movies are going. No fucking clue.
No fucking
And
clue.
That's what makes them so fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I wish I could figure out the word I wanted to use. I had like a highfalutin word to describe the damn movie.
Fuck it. Single syllable bullshit. They had nothing and they made something. Movie magic, motherfucker.
So as per usual, I'm going to include an Amazon affiliate link to Creep 1 and Creep 2 in the description here. If you click that link, I will get a kickback from your purchase from that link. And I guess with all that said, let us move on to the spoilers. Alrighty then. So, yes, he's a killer.
Yeah, he's totally a killer.
If you've seen Creep 1, he's a killer. The way Creep 1 ends is he's stalking this guy. He kind of tricks him into like trying to make up with him and like gets the main character of the first one to feel bad enough for him that he
might stick around.
He might stick around. They're going to meet up at this lake and they're going to try to be friends because he just feels bad. Like this guy just wants to be a friend.
Yeah.
But everyone always thinks he's weird and tries to run away. So he's like, okay, I won't do that. I'll try to be friends with him. But then he just fucking kills him with an axe when he gets there.
Oh, it's a great shot,
It's a great shot.
Such a good
shot. It's a really long fucking take.
Yeah, where he just fucking axes this guy in the fucking head with one swing. You're just like...
And then they reveal at the end of Creep 2 that he has a collection of tapes with different names on it. And the one and the main character from the first one, Aaron, he puts his name on the tape and like a little heart because he was special.
Yeah, he was special.
And so he just has a whole series of these murders. And at the end of Creep 1, even though it was kind of open and shut, there was a part of you that's like, I want to see what those other tapes are. Now, this movie is not those other tapes. This movie picks up immediately after.
Yeah, like weeks or months after.
Basically, after Aaron, he ends up going through a midlife crisis. And we open up on him finishing another tape, but just not having his heart in it.
Yeah.
And so he basically just kind of like
He just kills the guy and he's like...
He just reveals to the guy, just like, yeah, I'm a killer. I don't know. I just don't really feel it anymore. And the guy's like getting more and more freaked out as he's telling him this. And then he just like stabs him.
His throat open.
And he's just like,
yeah.
Like he just...
What am I doing with my life?
What's my purpose? What's whatever? Obviously, what happened with Aaron just completely fucked with him.
Yeah. Because Aaron is like the best. Like it ain't getting better. And well, that brings up the first thing that's really good about the sequel. The sequel could stand alone as its own movie.
It totally could.
Yeah. But if you've seen the first one, it's just that much more awesome.
Because the first one informs the character development of Joseph.
Yeah.
Mark Duplass's character, who in this movie ends up taking up the name Aaron, by the way.
Yeah, so let's be sure here. We don't actually necessarily know what this guy's real name is.
All we can go by is
Ever.
Joseph/Aaron. That's his name. And where this one picks off is that after that, we end up cutting to this YouTube series called Encounters.
Encounters, yeah.
With this girl, Sarah, played by Desiree Akhavan, who, much like Mark Duplass and Patrick Brice, is also a filmmaker and not an actor. But they wanted to collaborate with a third filmmaker to add more flavor to this one, so they brought her in.
Yeah, which was a great choice, by the way.
And basically, her show Encounters is she basically finds the weirdest Craigslist ad she can, meets these people, records her encounters with them, and then puts it up on YouTube as little mini episodes.
Yeah. She's got like a YouTube show.
It's like a reality show, but it's on YouTube.
You know.
And she's kind of reaching this point where like her channel's not really going anywhere. Her encounters,
no one's really watching. She's only got like 500 subscribers.
And she needs like a truly like fucked up encounter. Like she needs to go viral. She needs something so fucked up that people just can't stop looking at it. They can't look away. And then she comes across the ad for Aaron/Joseph.
Yeah, our main character.
Who what did he mention? Like
well, like here's the thing that becomes very
he mentioned
obvious.
like a horror movie or something in like the title or something.
Yeah, he did that. But one of the interesting things that happens is that it becomes very clear that the main guy has mainly been stalking men.
Yes.
And this is the first, and he's trying to figure out his purpose in life. So he's like, well, I'll start with stalking women. Maybe that'll spice it up.
Yeah. It's very obvious that he switches it up with this one. And so
it's like it's a story about someone discovering that they're bisexual, but from the other angle.
And that's the other thing about this movie. And I know that this is really early in the spoilers to mention this, but this feels like a fucked up love story.
It is a fucked up love story.
This is a super fucked up love story. Because basically in this movie...
this is like Harley Quinn meets the Joker for real.
Because basically in this movie, Aaron/Joseph meets his match.
Yes.
Without her actually being a killer like him. But
yeah. She's not a killer. She just does not freak out
because
easy.
just throughout this entire movie, she meets him tit for tat. And it's, oh man.
Yeah.
It's great.
And by the end of it, you feel like, oh shit, if they do a third one, is it going to be them doing something together? Are we going to Brian Chucky this shit?
Or is it just going to be like her trying to get away from him? And it's like they have to do something completely different for the third one. Like,
I know. If they do a third one, it's like, I have no idea.
Now, obviously, I don't want them to do a third one unless it comes organically like these first two did. Because
absolutely.
Obviously, that formula of just going into the woods and coming up with a movie is working for them.
Yeah. Funny enough, one of the movies that this reminded me of, and I want to mention it because I don't think I'm ever going to see another movie where referencing hipster style, this obscure fucking flick, is ever going to be appropriate. This movie reminded me a lot of Apartment Zero.
I can see that. That. The movie that I kept thinking of throughout it was, like, Behind the Mask.
Yes. There's a lot of Behind the Mask in this.
Mm-hmm. Because basically,
especially the sequel,
she takes the gig. She's like, all right, this might get me killed. This guy might actually be super fucked up, but I'm gonna do it because I need my show to be a hit. And you don't get anywhere with art unless you take artistic risks.
Yeah, so, art ain't safe.
Art ain't safe. Like Rob Zombie always said, art ain't safe. She takes the gig. She goes to a new apartment in the wood or cabin in the woods that he's now owning. Clearly, he's just renting these places or just
taking. He obviously rents places in far away locations.
So she goes to this place. She meets him there, and he's automatically a little different. He's now put this patchy beard on his face that almost looks like he glued it on, but you're not quite sure. Yeah. So he's now got this beard and long hair.
Yeah, whereas in the first movie he's totally clean shaven.
Yeah.
And this one,
and in the opening scene he's clean shaven, like the first movie.
Yeah, but in this one, he's got that kind of disheveled, I'm fucking having a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Man. I don't fucking,
the other thing
I don't want to fucking do with my life, man.
Well, the other thing he's doing is that he's taking on this persona of this filmmaker. He's like, it's like he's taken the essence of Aaron from the first movie, who at the beginning of the movie was talking about making movies and wanting to make movies, but he's stuck taking these Craigslist ads.
Yeah.
And now he's taken up the persona of Aaron, or at least his impression of Aaron. And is becoming this like washed up filmmaker who just has to make
and that's a great example of what we meant in the beginning of spoilers when we were talking about the fact that you don't need to have seen the previous one to appreciate this one. But if you do see the first, it will enhance your enjoyment of the second.
Yes, but like what do famous directors all have? They have the beard.
The beard, yeah.
So now he has a beard. But because he's so neurotic, he's picking at his beard. So it's got like these patchy spots, but it might not even be patchy spots. It might just be because he put the beard on wrong. But who knows? Who knows? It's open to interpretation to the audience.
Yeah, that might also just be dude's beard.
It might just be dude's beard.
I mean, like I got this, a little bit of this, and nothing here. And it looks bad when it grows out. It looks bad.
And like right away things get really weird because he does that thing. He does the thing that Lucifer does on the show Lucifer. Where he tells the truth so bluntly that everyone thinks he's joking or being sarcastic or speaking metaphorically.
Yeah.
So he basically tells Sarah right away, I'm a serial killer and you're here to film me doing my last kill.
Yeah.
My grand opus, my final frontier. Like
yeah. Which is he's gonna kill himself.
Yes. Which is very behind the mask in that way.
Yeah.
Very behind the mask of I'm a serial killer and you're gonna film me.
Yeah. God damn it.
And the thing is at the beginning, like she's like, okay, this guy's crazy. He might kill me. But this might be the encounter I need. But you can tell there's a part of her that doesn't fully believe him on the serial killer thing.
Yeah. Doesn't fully believe him on the serial killer thing. But she's like, I don't care. YouTube, big hits, going viral.
We're gonna do
we're gonna be on the front page. We're gonna be on trending.
There's this other aspect to it that I also love too. That it's like it feels like at parts in the movie the actress also like layered in moments where she was kind of turned on by his weirdness.
Yes. Yes. Which is a great switch up from the first one.
Yeah. So like right away things get super weird. He says that and then he's all like, all right, but if you're going to work with me, if you're going to do this, we got to lay it all out on the table. So this is what I'm all about. And so he just strips down naked. And for all you ladies out there and all you gay guys out there,
there's dong.
There is full-on Mark Duplass dong in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's flapping around there.
Yeah.
Center stage. We get full-on lady gays in this movie.
Oh, my God.
And it actually is female gays because it's actually Desiree holding the
she's like, oh.
And then it's just basically like, if we need to work together, we need to not have this weird tension between the sexes, and I find that seeing each other naked eases that tension. Which, like, I get it.
Yeah, I get it, but what the fuck?
So she does it. She strips down naked, and they actually film that.
Yeah, she meets every one of his challenges.
But what I like about it is that when she strips down naked, it's very obvious that Joseph / Aaron is not interested in her body. He's interested in her reactions. He zooms in on her face. And you could say like, oh, that's just so you don't actually see the nudity, but you see a little bit of the nudity while he's zooming in. So
it's not like they totally avoid it.
No.
So it's very obviously a character.
It's a character choice. Like zooming in on her face, he's interested in her reaction because he's a killer.
Yeah.
Like he wants to see their face change. Like that's what he's in it for. But she's not reacting. And that's weird. Because in the first movie, Aaron reacted to everything he did. Like every little jump scare, every little freak out, he always gave a magnificent reaction. But in this movie, she's just stone cold going with the flow.
Yeah. It's like, what?
Until she gets behind closed doors and it's just like, oh my God, this guy's fucking nuts, but this is going to be gold. But to his face, she plays it cool.
Yeah.
And he has no idea how to react to this. He has not encountered this before.
Yeah.
But as a result, it's obvious he starts to fall in love with her because of this. And that's basically the crux of this movie, is him trying to phase her and not succeeding until about the last scene of the movie.
Yeah.
But trying to phase her the entire time, and her meeting him tit for tat, and her going with him on this crazy, potentially suicidal journey, and not fucking flinching in his presence for most of it. And ultimately culminating in when he tries to stage the scene in which they're supposed to kill each other and, like, embrace in this, like, Romeo and Juliet death thing. And that's the point where she's just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
That's fights
too
him.
much.
It actually fights him in this glorious finale scene. But leading up to this finale scene, there's so many great little moments.
Oh, yeah. You have no idea where this is going until it happens.
And the other thing is that you have no idea. They touch upon it in the movie. There is this idea of, like, the words aren't the truth, but there's truth in the emotion behind it.
Yeah.
To where where this guy is constantly telling things that are probably tall tales. They probably aren't real. The one thing he does tell her that is 100% true that we know is that he is a serial killer.
Which is,
yes. And he is here to film his final opus. But everything else is an utter fabrication because everything else contradicts what he said in the first movie. So you have no idea what's real and what's not. You know?
Yeah.
But what's really, what's obvious is that his emotions behind his stories are real.
Yeah.
The feeling behind the stories are real.
Oh my God, there's so many times. There were a bunch of things that happened where you're just sort of like, oh God damn it, as a YouTuber who films himself.
I related to this movie.
I related
to this movie hardcore, to both Desiree and to Joseph/Aaron.
Yeah, fucking the moment where he's trying to do like the dramatic narration.
Yeah.
There's a bird just fucking flying over. He's like, "Fuck you!" Like, oh my God. I'm like, no.
I'm sitting there and I'm going like, God damn it, this is every fucking video.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, well, especially because we live in a city. And they're doing construction across the fucking road.
Oh God, I haven't been able to stream in like a week because there's a fucking jackhammer right outside the door.
And this isn't like and I know what some of y'all thinking in your brain minds. You're like, jackhammer, we don't care. No, that's shit's right outside.
It's loud as fucking my headphones with my mic right next to my lips, and I can't fucking hear myself speaking when that thing's going off.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh my God, thank God I stream at night. Holy shit.
I totally felt that scene. But I think my favorite scene is the hot tub scene.
Oh my God.
When he reaches his lowest point, the filming goes wrong, and you're not even sure if he's for real here or if he's faking it to try to
No, you have no clue.
But like, she like gets into the tub and like embraces him, and they have like this loving moment, and he's listening to this shitty jam band that she reminded him of because her name was Sarah, and it reminded him of the song he listened to in the 90s called Sarah Loves Juicy Fruit. And for some reason, this shitty jam band singing about Sarah loving Juicy Fruit mixed in with these two embracing and him telling another story that is probably not false, but him clearly being emotionally distraught despite that was the most hilarious thing in the world to me.
It was super fucking awkward. Like, how to put it? There are some bands in this world that we understand people like, but whenever they're brought up, you go like, really?
Sarah Loves Juicy Fruit. I love at the end of the movie, during the credits, they actually have the Sarah Loves Juicy Fruit
they actually
song.
have the song.
I want that song so bad. That song is stupid, but I love it because of the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's that kind of retarded, like, Dave Matthews Band kind of fucking song that, like, some guy would have really been into and gotten deep emotional messages from. And you're just sitting there like, dude, for real? And I feel bad because I feel like I'm picking up my buddy Jim because he loves Dave Matthews Band.
Oh man, poor Jim.
Yeah.
Jim.
Well, he's a good guitarist, but like, and he loves Dave Matthews Band. But I was always like, dude, let's go back to your Parliament Funkadelic fucking influence. Like, I can at least relate to that.
So God, like, what other great moments? There's the truth or what was it? Like
there's a truth or dare moment.
No, what was it? Truth or dare? It was 3.
Two
lies and a truth.
Yeah, 2 lies and truth. Yeah.
And even though he says one of them is true, you're still not sure if any of them were true.
Well, yeah. Well, this is one of the things I think we haven't really said flat out. These are found footage movies.
Yeah.
And they're really... I thought found footage was... We did everything with that genre that we possibly could.
No, this movie shows that even with working with nothing, you can do something that I haven't seen before in a found footage movie.
This is unlike any found footage movie I've fucking seen.
This is what happens when you get 3 really creative filmmakers working together and they have nothing, but they're just coming up with what they can do with what they have.
Well, it worked so well because what you realize you aren't seeing is just as important as what you do see.
Yeah.
And I realized when I was watching it, I was like, that is the most obvious fucking conceit, and I had never seen it before.
Yeah. And what I love about this movie is it doesn't feel like it goes too far over the top from what the first movie was building.
No.
The one sign that it had more of a crew and a budget than the first one did is one scene in which he tries to get a rise out of her by committing suicide in front of her.
Yeah.
Which they obviously had a choke harness on.
Yeah. They had that whole thing.
So they obviously had a little bit more of a budget in this one than they did in the other ones. Plus they had a little bit more makeup stuff. But outside of that, this still feels like bare bones, just three friends in the woods.
I would be surprised if this thing even cost $1 million to make. It's real super good.
It's really fucking good. I highly recommend it. Check it out. Like I said earlier, I'm going to put an Amazon affiliate link to both Creep 1 and Creep 2 in the description. As per usual, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And where can they find you, Count Jackula?
They can find me on Twitter at Count_Jackula. And on Twitch TV, just in that little search bar, put Count Jackula. And once you see the fucking day glow goat head, you know it's your boy.
And we just recorded a vlog on Bright, so check out his channel to see us talking about Netflix's Bright. And with that said, peace out, my fellow gorehounds, and I'll catch y'all later.
Plug your Twitch.
Oh yeah, that's right. Check me out on Twitch. It's in the description.